Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yay!
Um, so sorry if we are slightly later than usual. It's not.
It's not
It's
my fault this
yes.
time.
It's not Dana. Now it's Dana's fault that we weren't on last week. So
Yes.
you're not completely off the hook. Don't get too big for your britches, okay? But
Excuse me,
for,
are you saying I'm fat?
I knew that was as soon as I said it. As soon as I said it, I knew that was coming back on me. No, so yeah, it was.
I'd apologize for being predictable, but I'm not sorry.
You are predictable in the most delightful ways. Hi, Philip. So yeah, we're slightly later than usual when we go live, and it was more my fault than anybody's, but it was also kind of yes, Liz, by one whole minute. It was also kind of YouTube's fault because I clicked the go live button and my browser did the thing where the page reloads and usually it says you're live, but this time it gave me an error message where it said we could not create the stream, try again or finish. And I thought, well, I don't want to finish. We haven't even started yet. So I went back to my YouTube.
Sounds like you maybe want to talk to your doctor about that.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to. You don't want to finish prematurely, especially when people are watching.
No.
And so I went back to YouTube Studio and then came back into the live page where it said, "Okay, you're live, so we're good." But it was just a little YouTube give me a little tiny, like, is the show going to work tonight or not? Ha ha ha. So
You are at their mercy.
yes, yes, yes. Hi, Snake Bit Cat. Yeah, 255 AD. You're right. A lot of things are YouTube's fault. You're
Could be worse. It
absolutely right.
could be Twitter.
That's true.
Twitter.
That's true.
Hey,
If this
Mr.
was
Elephants.
if we were streaming this on Twitter, I would have no confidence that anybody would ever see this, like,
You just wouldn't know.
at
You wouldn't
all.
know what's gonna happen, except it's probably gonna be bad. So how's
Yeah.
your week been?
My week has been good as you know, I am a little bit ahead of schedule in my video production.
Which is
Um
awesome because you produced that, a lot of work went into your Thanksgiving special. I know you were really busting it to try to, not fall behind. And then not only are you not behind, you're ahead. That's, coming out of it. That's pretty awesome.
and I haven't even plagiarized anybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I still have a big one to come. I have videos uh, scheduled for the next 2 weeks, and I have scripts to shoot on this coming Saturday when I usually do my video shooting for the week. I have two that I'm pretty much ready to go on. Um, but then after that, probably, and then of course tomorrow is Thursday, so I'm going to spend most of the day working on my Star Trek retro review because I do those all in one day, and then um, Friday, because everything that I'm going to shoot this weekend is already written, I can start and get an early start on the next Trek Actually video, which isn't supposed to go up until week after next,
Oh
but I can
my.
go ahead and start. So I'll have like this Friday, and then once I get the editing done on the videos I'm going to shoot on Saturday, like the rest of next week to write it. So, and it's going to be a fun one because it's about Star Trek 4, which is a very fun Star Trek movie. If you ever want to introduce someone to Star Trek and they've never seen Star Trek before and you're not even sure if they'll like it, show them Star Trek 4 because it is
Okay.
the most. Have you ever seen it?
Probably not. Like
One of
literally, I
the
have no idea. I know
It's the whales one.
it's
It's the Save the Whales one.
oh, it's the whales one. See, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it, but yeah, they go
I
back in time
yeah.
and save the whales.
They go back in time and save. Well, they save a
Yeah, I
couple
know
of
that.
whales. They don't save the entire species, but they save a couple of whales. Um,
Oh, so the
and and
species
in
still goes
doing
extinct?
so, also save the planet Earth.
Right.
So that's
Um,
important. Yes, Snake Bit Cat. Star Trek 4 is a whale of a good time. Yes,
uh,
I may have to try to sweet talk you into watching that with me one of these days if you've
may,
never seen it. Not necessarily for a stream, just to watch it together, just between the two of us, but because it's a
no
really fun movie.
promises.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not.
really
I'm
fun.
not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. One of these days.
Someday,
Um,
Steve.
what was the indeed? What was the movie we? Oh, the fry bread face in me.
Yes.
I would rather watch that with you first, and then at some point after that,
is it going on the list, like the official list?
It should be on the list. I haven't put it on the list yet, but it should be on. I will put Fry Bread Face and Me and Star Trek 4 both on the list. And also, yeah, 255 AD. Yes, the plagiarism reference was a reference to the H-bomb video. Yes.
The incredibly long H-bomb video.
Yes, the excellent H-bomb video. The excellent H-bomb video. The excellent H-bomb video, which I started watching as soon as I saw that it was up on the day it went up, and I've been letting it play continuously ever since, and I just finished it 5 minutes before we went on the air.
Mr. I Love Dance, I don't know about that. I mean, the wrong whales, is saving any of the whales wrong? Like, I guess I suppose whales, like any other species, some of them are jerks.
Yeah, what if the specific whales they saved are just assholes, and they were like,
"Yeah, what if they're the racist whales?
What if they're the racist whales? Yeah, you don't know. Well, that's the thing. Is like, I mean, it's one of those. I mean, okay, let's talk about Star Trek 4 real quick, just real quick. So it's one of those movies, and this is I know, but we're here to watch Poirot. We're not even watching Star Trek tonight. We're watching Poirot. But
we're getting a head start on next week.
We're getting a head start on next week, which at least will be in the same fictional universe as Star Trek 4. But and it's one of the things I really like about it is that it's one of those movies where you just go with it, and it doesn't get hung up on technicalities, and it certainly doesn't get hung up on, like, you know, canon and continuity and consistency and all that stuff. I mean, it does, like, it is the fourth movie, and it does pay off plot beats and character arcs that began in earlier movies, but it's not like all
is still alive.
But it's not like all, you know, fan servicey about it. It's telling a story, you know, like you're supposed to.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. And so one of the little things that you could nitpick about, if you were of a mind, is the plot hinges on the fact that this mysterious space probe shows up to Earth and is sending out communication signals. And when Kirk and crew arrive on the scene, Spock, of course, being super smart, with some help from Uhura, which is appropriate because she's the communications officer, they manage to sort of decode and translate these signals coming from the probe, and they figure out that it is sending a message to Earth in the form of humpback whale song. The only problem is it's the 23rd century, and humpback whales are extinct. So there's nobody on Earth to answer the signal. And this pisses the probe off, and the probe starts just wrecking house on Earth, just like, you know, lifting like walls of water out of the oceans and creating a big storm that covers the sun.
It came in like a wrecking ball.
Exactly. It's really, really messing up the planet Earth. So Kirk says, I've got an idea. Let's go back in time to when there were humpback whales and just grab some and then bring them back forward in time and drop them off and let the whales talk to the probe. So everybody's like, great idea. So over the course of the next hour and a half, that's exactly what they do. And it all works out fine. Spoiler alert. But the question is, what if they go through all that trouble, bring these whales back to the 23rd century, drop them into the sea, and they hear the whale, the probe saying stuff, and they have no idea what it's saying because it's an alien space probe from 300 years in their future. And they're like, what are you talking about? What could you possibly have to say to us? We're two random time-displaced whales. We have no idea what this is. And the probe is still pissed off and still destroys the Earth. So, you know, but it doesn't work out that way.
Question. Do they take the whales back?
Back to their own time?
Yeah.
No, the whales stay in the future.
Oh, so another what if? What if the reason the whales go extinct is because those two whales were missing, and their DNA being taken out of the gene pool is what causes them to go extinct.
That breeding pair being pulled out of time causes the extinction.
Or is it a contributing factor? Because let's be honest, freaking global warming is not on the whales.
No, I don't think the whales did that.
Although if if cow farts are a much bigger deal than we realized, whale farts.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty confident that whale farts are
Oh,
bigger than
I
cow
mean,
farts.
are we sure that's not what destroyed Krakatoa back in the day? Was that a volcanic eruption, or did a whale just let one off too close to the island and it,
I
you
think
know?
that the direction of the debris might have been a clue in that.
That's
But what
true.
do I know?
That's true.
Unlike
Um,
my character on the ensign's log, I am not uh, uh, fluent in cetacean.
no, no. That's acting on the show.
Yes.
Just a second, let me get into character.
I'm ready.
Oh boy. 255 AD says, I brought up American Thanksgiving to my dad and we got into hypotheticals about which birds you'd be willing to eat. We ended on, would you eat a roast seagull that's never eaten trash? I guess.
Only because it's a holiday.
I mean, people eat pigeon. You know, if you're going to cross that, if you're going to cross that line, if you're going to be like, yeah, I'll eat a fucking pigeon, like, then what else is stopping you? If you're going to say, I'll eat a pigeon, but I won't eat a seagull, I'm curious to hear the argument for that. Like, feels like a very idiosyncratic choice. Like, oh no, pigeon, no, great. Squab, man, squab is delicious. Seagull, oh fuck you, get that away from me.
Yep. So
So, how are you? Now that I've completed my Star Trek 4 tangent, how are you?
well, it is called Trek Reluctantly, and as somebody pointed out, it's
Yes,
very apropos.
during the week when you thought you were off the hook and you wouldn't have to hear any of the Star Trek shit. Like, oh, we were supposed to be watching Agatha Christie.
I was done with this on Sunday.
I put in my time with Star Trek this week.
Yeah, what the hell? It has definitely been ups and downs. So yeah. So yesterday, was it yesterday that I felt pretty trashy?
Yeah, was it yesterday or was it
The day before? Was it Monday?
It might have been Monday.
Yeah, because the student,
because yesterday I think was a little better.
The student in question was out yesterday for the second half of the day, and I have that student in the second half of the day. So yeah, Monday was the super trashy day, and that's right, because I was talking to another teacher about the week, and I talked about I've started taking up their phones. I have like a shoe caddy on the wall. Now it's been there since the beginning of the semester, and when I've had a student who repeatedly, normally I say your phone needs to be in a pocket or in your bag, and it stays away. And then after instruction during work time, they can pull out their phone, set up a playlist or whatever, and listen to music while they work. That's fine. But some of them will get out and just be on their phone instead of paying attention to instruction or doing their work. And that's when it's a problem. And I say, I'll remind them. And if I have to remind them repeatedly, it goes up in the shoe caddy on the wall.
Yeah.
But man, Monday was just like such a day. And I wrote up 2 students in the same day, which like almost never happens. And like, in addition to the fact, oh yeah, it's also state testing. So they're supposed to be like extra quiet.
Not so much.
Yeah, and that's they I managed that. That was not the issue. Although last period of the day, we had some sort of insect or
I was just going to ask you about this. You said there was like a bee or something in the classroom.
I think it actually, so somebody said, but it was in flight and just going past. I thought it was a bumblebee based on the shape. However, somebody the next day, yesterday in the morning, said, "Oh, there was a stick bug, walking around down by them." I was like, "Oh, okay. Maybe that was the one from yesterday." I didn't say that though. I was just like, "Okay, it's there." I'm like, "It's fine." I go over, I get a paper towel, pick it up, and fortunately, I have a co-teacher, so I could leave the room, walk down the hall, open the door, toss it out, come back in, put the paper towel in the trash, and there you go. I'm like, I don't know what the bug phobia is called, but I didn't think it was that common. Like none of them know what to do. They're all like, kill it or run away from it. Those are our options. I'm like, I've got paper towels right here. This is not that complicated. Like, I don't even need a cup to put this. This is not a stingy thing. Anyway,
this is not a situation. Everything's
really
fine.
Not. It's really not. Yeah. Now, I can understand being concerned when it's flying around and we don't know what it is, and it might be a stingy thing. So anyway, the day before, last period of the day, of course. And so I'm just like, we've got like 13, 14-foot ceilings. It's like up there. It's not coming close to us. I'm like, let's just leave it alone. Maybe it'll just go away. I don't care. Snake bit cat, no, just one. And it was not,
that's quality work.
That's pretty good.
That's quality work.
So, and besides it was Othello and we're finished. So anyway, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see a student who was over on that side of the room, coming over to this side of the room, has a literature book in hand. Let me get one of these suckers. Literature book in hand. Like they want to swat the bug with this giant honking book. It's, the bug's like flying all around.
Right.
Like, it does. First of all, you're just gonna like bat it. Like, if you're gonna squish it, you have to squish it against something. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't just swat it out of the air. That's not going to do anything.
I mean, you can, but it's really difficult to do.
Well, I mean, maybe if you have like a fly swatter or something, and you can like whip it.
Yeah, but yeah, this is not a good plan. And then I see said student, because the bug again way up high. We have these chair desk combo things where like there's an arm of the chair that connects to the desk. Said student stands up in the seat of an unoccupied chair and is about to take a step on top of the desk when I say, student name, get down now.
That would have fallen over immediately.
Did not fall over then. I mean, and
did they get all their weight on top of it though? Because if it's like the ones that we had in school, it's like the only, like there's nothing to hold their weight on that front part. It's just like a writing desk.
No. Okay, so the chair desk combo has 4 legs. 2 are on the back of the chair and 2 are on the front of the desk.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little different than the ones I remember.
I'm trying to think. No, maybe not. I think some of them are that way, and some of them the arm continues around the desk. So there's actually a metal bar there. So, but hopefully we're far enough into this that, I'm not getting in trouble. I will say it is possible to stand up on the desktop and not have it collapse under your weight.
You just happen to know that. That's just a fact that you know.
I just coincidentally happen to know that it is possible to do this.
That's just a fact that you know.
Collapse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
And also, these were the nice, like, Formica type ones, not the plastic ones that thankfully I do not have. Anyway, the student turns their head, looks at me, and says, "Say please."
Yeah, that's not going to fly. No.
So, well, anyway, it became a thing. Student ended up going to the office. Sans escort, but ended up there. We're towards the end. I'm just like, everybody got back to work, and we made it through. Everybody got back to work. We were not dealing with insect anymore. Student who was climbing on things is now out of the room. Everybody else is like, oh, so we will get in trouble if we just try to climb all over the furniture and swing at bugs with books. So
yeah, how about that?
It was slightly less. Anyhow, so then today, yesterday during planning, I called home on the students that I've written up, because I always do. I say, hey, this is Miss Cole. I just wanted to know this thing happened, and I did, write up student name, and I just wanted to make sure that you heard about it from me. If I can, like, if it's early in the day, then I'll call like same day, but otherwise I'll wait till my planning period. Anyway, so I talked with the parent it was, and I said, you know, because everybody's like, you know, and I think when I told you about it, you said the same thing. You know, you're the teacher; they should listen to you. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I am not real keen on just the flexing the authority type thing. But you know, and then today I actually had that student in class, and I did get a chance to talk to them, because during my planning period, when normally I go, if I need to one-on-one with the student, I'll go to their class and I'll email their teacher, say, hey, can I talk to so and so sometime during class? Let me know when it's most convenient. Well, this student has gym at that point, and it's just not convenient. Like trying to
Yeah.
get a one student out of them running around the gym, that just is not really workable. So anyway, I ended up just when we were putting up phones, because said student was not there, just they pause and talk one-on-one. And I said, I realize I do, because parents said that they talked to the parent about it already that afternoon, and so the next day the parent was already aware of it, and said, that they said they treat other people with respect, and they expect to be treated with respect. And I said, I always want to treat my students with respect. However, respect is here. It's very important. Safety's here. And I wanted to make it very clear that I didn't want there to be any ambiguity. Because sometimes when I phrase something as a request, will you please da da da, that's actually a question. And the student will reply, no.
Yeah.
And then I get to back up and say, let me be clearer about this. I did phrase that as a request out of politeness. However, you need, I need to have you do this, or, you need to do this. I am telling you to do something like that. So it's a little bit clearer that this is what is supposed to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a reason that people do things. And I'm just like, I would hope by this point that students know that, if I tell you to do a thing, it is for a reason. I don't necessarily want to take time away from the class to explain in detail my reason. And sometimes I'll say, we can talk about this outside of class time. So anyway, it was just, it was a lot.
I mean,
but and said student, having had like 2 days to de-escalate from that, student was like, thanks for explaining that. I understand that. That makes sense. And I said, I couldn't get into it right then because it was a safety issue. I didn't want to take the time to just explain why I am phrasing this as a command, not a request, but there was reason behind that. And I could tell that you were, that upset you. But there was reason for that. And I said, I was honestly worried. Yeah. And, so we came to, it was okay, but it was,
well, that's good.
Really,
and you can say, so now that we have an understanding, next time that you do that, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to reach up and drag you down and jerk a fucking knot in your ass.
And this is why you work at home alone.
So anyway, we are watching Poirot tonight. We are watching The Adventure of the Western Star, which is the final episode of Series 2 of Poirot. So when we come back for Poirot in 2 weeks, it is the 3rd series premiere, and that is a 90-minute episode. So we will have to find a breaking point in the middle and watch it in 2 parts.
And by we mean you, Steve.
Me.
You got to do that. It's your channel.
So anybody who doesn't have access to the episode, if you would like to watch along with us, which I really wish you would, that's kind of the point. In my pinned message in the live chat, there is a link to the episode on the Internet Archive that you can download and watch along with us. We'll start watching here in a minute. And yes, 255 AD said, do you think it'd be funny to do a Trek short set in like 2323 where a Starfleet biologist is like, we need to deal with the fact that our humpback whale population is super inbred? I think that would be maybe good for like a line. I wouldn't want to do an entire short on that basis. That just seems way too nerdy and too much of like an inside baseball obsessive, like, let's really, really pour over this one, detail from, a Star Trek movie, but as like a one-off joke that characters
As like a
involved in
stinger.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like just like a casual aside, that people who have seen Star Trek 4 could recognize and go, oh yeah, that's funny. And then you move on from it. And it's literally like 5 seconds of runtime of the thing you're doing. Yeah. I could live with that, but I wouldn't want to do anything where that would be like the premise of the thing, even if it was just a short.
Unless, I mean, you could have a really short.
Yeah, it's just where you don't even know who the characters are. There's no situation. It's just one Starfleet guy says to the other, did you ever notice how inbred Earth's humpback whale population is? And then that's the end.
Huh. Funny.
That was weird.
Mr. I Love Dance. I think literally, I mean, maybe y'all can, but I turned
Dana
into a
would not be
pumpkin.
able to make it. Yeah.
I just sort of, you'd sort of see, you'd see me doing what my students do. The drool starts. Oh, that was another thing that I told you about the grumpy email. Did I tell you about the grumpy email?
Yes, yes, from a parent, yeah.
So that was yesterday. This morning. So yesterday, I every so often, pretty often, I have students put their heads down. I'm like, that's not okay. And so I'll go and I'll, tell them to sit up and pay attention, do their work, wherever we're at, do the thing. And if you can't, like, go to the office, not in trouble, but just like go to the nurse. Like, if you are that tired, go to the nurse, get a drink of water, get some food, get if you have headache medicine, whatever it is, or just someplace that's quiet and dark where you can be away from what we're supposed to be doing and not just sleeping in class. Right. And so they fuss, why do you always get on to me? I wasn't actually asleep. I'm like, you weren't doing what you're supposed to. So anyway, this one, head down, I nudge shoulder, doesn't respond when I say name, nudge shoulder, sit up, do work. Okay. This morning, I have angry email from parents saying, don't ever lay hands on a student in your class. Don't you touch them. I'm just like,
how dare you touch my precious angel?
So yeah, that was a whole thing. So as soon as I got to school, I emailed one of the assistant principals, forwarded that and said, can I come talk to you about this? And I pulled, after I got through the lesson, when we were work time, I'm like, I let my co-teacher know, took student, we went up there and talked to him, like, okay, I want to make sure that everybody's on the same place. I need to understand. So student and I worked out. I mean, different people have different, personal space. So next time, if student doesn't respond when I say it verbally, I said, because I've had students pass out in class. And if you don't respond, my next step is pushing the emergency button.
Right. Get somebody in here. Yeah.
Emergency. You don't want to do that. So I said, my next, so what I can do instead, now that I know that, is I can just knock on your desk and do that instead. Would that be more comfortable for you? And the student said yes. I was like, okay, there we go.
There you go.
And but I heard nothing from the student. It was like 2/3 of the way through the period. Nothing. Not to the end of the period, not the rest of the school day. They didn't come back to talk to me. Nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could have been worse. You could have turned the fucking desk over. So I told you not to put your fucking head down.
Because I have them set up in 4s. I would have had to pull it out first before flipping it.
And then that would have woken them up.
That would have woken, exactly.
They would have been like, what?
Exactly.
I wasn't napping, I swear.
Just slid out and it would have ruined the effect.
Yeah, and that would have been the real shame of it.
So anyway, the way
so
this
Poirot
this is Steve's channel, so he gets to be the one to count us in. But so you cue it up and make sure you're on 0000. Correct. And then Steve is going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And when he says play, then we all click play together. And that's we watch the intro with the weird purple stuff and crazy, just funky looking Poirot, a little bit weird with a third eye in the middle of his forehead. I don't know what all that's about. Anyway, so the key is you listen, you pay attention.
Yes.
And when Steve says play, you click play. And if you get off and you're just, or if you have to do a potty run or something, we got the time code up
Yep.
here, and you
Yep.
can use that to queue us up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's all good.
It's all good. And yes, Vilcata, we have not started the episode yet. It's still the pre-show banter, but that is about to come to an end
I've been
because
griping.
I'm fixing
I've had
I'm fixing to count us in. So
woohoo!
all right. You ready, Dana?
It's like it makes him feel powerful.
Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah. I do enjoy throwing around the authority. Dana does not. I'm like, I'm in charge around this motherfucker, and you're gonna do what I tell you.
I just point out how it is, you know. You can this is you do what you choose to do what you choose to do. Here's what's gonna happen in various choices. This is what will happen. If I just walked out of class, would you try to stop me? No. What would you do? I just write you up. What? You know, write you up. Like, you would be skipping class. I would write you up for skipping. Oh. That's all there is. And when they do, I say, I'll let the office know you're coming. Okay.
All right. Ready?
I'm
okay. Okay. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, I think your next hangout is on New Year's Eve, isn't it?
Yeah, the next one will be the next one will be New Year's Eve, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Kirok wanted to know
I'm not planning on rescheduling it.
We can be the pre-party.
Exactly. You have a good night too, Kara. Good to see you.
Are the founders the changelings?
That's correct.
If we do this long enough, maybe one day my character will be able to get her memory back. Hey, my kind of dude. I've shown you that video of
Oh
lawyers
yeah,
explaining what.
shut the fuck up.
I wasn't going to say that, but you knew it. The police say they know who your parents are. Call your parents and tell them.
Boy, Poirot really goes all out for Taco Tuesday, doesn't he?
Zing. Poirot, all you have to say is she's blonde. Oh, I forgot she was Belgian.
And she will remain the greatest film star Belgium produces until Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, but is he blonde?
Depends on the movie. Miss Marvel is coming for dinner?
Oh. Ooh.
I shall require a to-go box. Well, I guess it's a solo Taco Tuesday.
More food for me.
Mr. I love the ants, exactly. The mussels from Brussels.
It's actually Brussels.
Yeah, but that doesn't rhyme.
It is if you say Musels.
The mussels from Brussels? That's, I mean, that sounds like how Van Damme would say it, so maybe that's appropriate.
Alas, she is not the blonde.
Oh, good point. Good to see you, Richard. Thanks for being here. A few years ago.
Agu.
Ago.
Hint, hint.
They make Belgian films.
Morgana says your link for the episode.
Yeah, I just saw that. Let me check it out.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Morgana, add .mp4 to the end of the link after you paste it, and that should do it. I'm not sure why it didn't include that in the link.
Boy, does he ever, HB Haga.
And that link I just put in the chat should work. I'm not sure why the pinned one doesn't.
But my name is Arthur, and you know that.
He's got an American flag throw on his chair over there. A lot of torch.
What?
Oh, I say. Model trains. It's how rich children learn to play God.
Uh-oh. This one is.
This one's a blonde. Hastings. Or you could just show it to me. Bum, bum, bum. Stately Wayne Manor.
Not nearly gothic enough.
Well, it depends. It could be the Wayne Manor of the Adam West Show.
A little bit too gray.
You think? Yeah, maybe. Well, that didn't take long. Gee, something tells me it wasn't really a Chinaman who did this. The mistrial of the ants. The Muppets got her. Inspector Jap on the job.
Well, Vilcata, I mean, she's not an actress. Like the character's not.
Right. Oh, so good. Oh, I haven't called the police, sir. Like an innocent person would. Snakebit cat, I like that. I could see by his outfit that he was a cowboy.
Poirot.
What good is a sundial at night? Answer me that.
Well, it's not night on the other side of the world. And if you find out where your wife hid the diamond, let us know. Monsieur Jap, you are not a shrubbery. Ah, Hastings. Why don't you ask Hastings? He seems to have all the answers.
he solves the case.
Clearly.
Well, as I see it, Poirot, all we have to do is interrogate every Chinaman in the country. We're bound to run across the stone eventually.
Maybe they've taken it out of the country. You think the crown will spring for a trip to China?
Perhaps they've gone to China.
First class, of course.
Maybe they could take the Orient Express. It must be a Murdoch paper.
Oh, Hastings. Don't you love the beginning of the story when you get to think you're right?
It was not me, it was Danny Houston. People mix us up all the time.
I like his purple tie.
Yeah. Upset because she colluded in the theft of her own diamond? Or upset for some other reason?
Hastings, be more sensitive. Like a Belgian. Whoopsie.
Oh, Hastings, catch up. Jesus. You have the money.
You have the diamond?
I say. The hard way it is. Take a look at this.
Oh, I love this scene. Oh, okay. They're not doing it the same way.
Dig that coat. HP Hag, exactly. You know, just not so as not to draw attention to yourself. Just walk around London with an ankle length fur coat.
As one does.
Yeah, you know, no big deal. Did you see his coat?
That's added, but it's delightful.
Oh. Snakebit cat, that's good. They made his coat out of the little gray furs. What did he say?
I have bad news for you. I have
Ah,
some bad news for you.
and he wanted to say it in her native tongue.
Between them, entre eux.
Just the coat.
Oh, I was paying attention, but I lost track of who said what. Vilcott, I think the last thing he said is he's gone now, and oh, what did he ask her? Are you going to just let him go? And she said, yeah, it's over. I think.
Tell me, Poirot, why do the chicks all dig you?
Yeah, she earlier she'd said, yeah, I didn't know he could do something like that.
That's a lot of paper. Bye. More raspberry 7 Up? Good point.
Trying.
He is a doofus, but he is my doofus. The end. That was a fun one.
So, so you enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah, it was a fun one. And I liked it because like I mean, it's not, it's not like any kind of major insight that, when Lady What's her name had her diamond stolen, that was staged. Like
Oh yeah,
that's
no.
I feel like we're supposed to notice that. That's not supposed to be a surprise. But
Well, especially she
the
and that's it's not the reveal. I mean, she tells us at the end,
right.
and she
But
tells us, and it's not the end anyway.
but the specific, circumstances of it
Mm-hmm.
were somewhat surprising. Like the fact that she wasn't staging a theft of the diamond so that she could take it for herself or sell it or whatever. Like she was doing it to cover up the fact that it had already been stolen years ago and that wasn't the real one. So that was clever.
Yeah, so what I was wondering about this is in the story, when she comes down, her hand's already over it. Like they don't actually see it. And that makes it just like too over the top.
Yeah.
But what they didn't say is how she got it out of the setting.
The
and
setting.
Like, he said she just tossed it out down the hall. They just ignored that. I mean, like when you got a diamond in a setting, it's pretty solid. Now, I mean,
it doesn't usually just pop out. Yeah.
you know, and we got to look at it. It didn't, you know, the setting didn't look loose, but I mean, you see it, you can just say, oh, well, she had loosened the setting earlier, da, da, da.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of hand waved. But yeah, the diamond is literally already missing, and she's just covering up the fact that it's not there at all.
That's how
And
it goes in the story.
Yeah, and so anyway, and Christie uses jewels a lot, and so when he took the paste replica to the expert, I got it mixed up with another story where he does the same thing, and he says, "Can you?" You know, he says, "Take a look at this," and the expert looks at it and goes, "Oh, I've never seen anything. This is amazing. I've never seen anything like this." And Poirot says, "Could you tell me how much it's worth?" And he's like, "For something as, you know, that shows, for something as unique as this, I would be hard pressed to say." And Poirot says, "It is not, for example, worth 50,000 pounds." And he says, "No, this is an imitation, but it is such an excellent imitation." So it like does this, you know, double reverse.
Yeah, he's impressed by what a good fake it is.
I mean, yeah. And he's also trying to suss out if Poirot knows that he's brought him a fake. You know, so he's also sort of playing with Poirot as well. And so Poirot eventually says, "I know it's fake." And he's like, "Oh yeah, but it's a really good fake."
It's a good fake though, right? Like, it's really good.
That might be it, HB Haga. You know, the eye of the East, the eye of the West, the heart of fire. Yeah, Christie is really, I mean, she's technically classified as a mystery writer, but let's be honest, she's a romance writer. I mean, she writes adventure, you know, these bigger than life stories, the characters that, you know, yeah, there's all sorts of melodrama there, and yeah, so much fun. Yeah, and I can't remember. Yeah, no. Yeah, she'd had a paste replica made because they still kept it, and I didn't remember. Yeah, in the story, I think that the whole blackmail thing is fake, and she sold it for the money already, and then her husband says he's going to sell it. If or again, I might, some of this gets reused, so yeah. But yeah, it's a fun, and
yeah, it's a really fun episode.
It is. And Hastings
Hastings is even. Well, it's like every time I think Hastings can't get any denser. You know what I mean? Like they somehow managed to write him even more clueless than the last time I thought that. Because this bit in this one where he's like, "But what about the Chinaman?" And I'm like, dude, like, pay attention, man.
Poirot has to take a breath.
Pray. He needs a second. He's just like, "Oh, okay. Okay." He's just puts his arm around him and goes, "Come here. Just let's talk over here. Let's talk over here." He takes off his mustache and whips him with that, and then affixes it back to his face.
The other thing is, I do feel bad for Hastings at the end, and I wish that you know, Poirot gave him a little bit of credit because he is trying. Bless his heart.
Oh yes, he's by writing stuff down and like, "Oh, I'm gonna learn a thing or two.
I'm gonna learn things. I'm being methodical like Poirot is." And I think the part of the reason that it's so funny that Poirot is so offended, he's like, you do everything wrong. When you take the order and the method, you make a mockery of it. Stop trying.
Just let me do the detecting. Just shut up and eat your dinner.
Like I don't have it. Do I? I don't think I have it in here. Like Tuppence says to Tommy, "No luck, old friend. Once no luck, my good man. Once the idiot friend, always the idiot friend."
Yeah.
Just, Hastings ain't ever gonna. And he's so proud of himself. He was so proud of himself. He's like, "You've had nasty letters from a Chinaman, haven't you? Did you pick
Yeah.
up on it at that point?"
Yeah.
That he just gave her that, and she's like,
Just like,
"How did you know?"
Hastings.
Hastings, no.
There's
Oh boy.
there's a really great scene in one of the Holmes stories. It might actually be the Blue Carbuncle, which is one of my favorites, and which is another diamond-centered story.
Although I will say, Carbuncle just
Yeah,
it sounds too much like Barnacle, I think.
that's what I always think. It sounds like they scraped it off the bottom of a ship or something. But I'm pretty sure it's from the Blue Carbuncle, but it's where Holmes Holmes has a hat that is like the first piece of evidence in this case, and he passes the hat to Watson and says, "What do you deduce about the owner of this hat? Just by looking at it." And Watson applies Holmes's deductive methods to come to some conclusions about where the hat came from and who it belongs to and what kind of person he is. And he's wrong about everything. But he's doing it the way Holmes would do it. He's trying to draw conclusions from details and stuff like that. He just misses everything.
He gets it all wrong.
He gets it all wrong, but he tries. He tries.
That's probably the only thing that I really like out of the BBC Sherlock is when Sherlock is grabbing Watson and he's like, do you really remember what that sign said? You really remember? Because for most people they only remember about 30% of what they see. He's like, well, no, I don't remember. I remember most, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I took a picture of it on my phone. And Sherlock's just like,
oh,
that'll work. It's just this great reversal of everything. Yeah. And but oh gosh, Hastings, he's just so wonderful at being baffled. Great performance. And
my goodness. Yeah, and he's always so earnest.
Oh, he is.
He's trying to help.
He's trying your patience. Is what he's doing.
The only thing you're trying, my friend, is my patience.
Snake Pit Cat, that's a good one.
Yeah, the Blue Carbuncle. It's a shame it didn't do better at the box office, because
it's just honestly,
it's just superhero fatigue at this point.
It sounds kind of painful, like a zit that's gotten infected and gone deeper. So
this carbuncle is turning blue. I'd better go see a dermatologist about this.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy. So on that note, shall we play some Wordle and then
now
wrap
we're
this
talking
up?
about wordplay. Let's go for Wordle.
On the pleasant note of horrifying skin conditions that we just made up based on the names of famous fictional jewels. Okay. So here's today's Wordle.
An ingrown zit, the Blue Carbuncle. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly. So here's today's Wordle. The way this works is Dana takes the lead, but Dana is not actually seeing what you're seeing right now. She does not see the Wordle board. She just goes by my description of it. And together we try to solve the Wordle. And if you have not solved it yet and you would like to play along, then please feel free to throw your suggestions in the chat and we will solve today's Wordle together. The only thing we ask is if you have solved it or you do know the answer, please do not give it away.
Or hints, no special hints. Yes,
no,
like that.
Yes, no spoilers and no hints. Okay, so shall we begin?
Yes, let's.
With heart.
Yes.
Heart. Our customary starter word, and heart gives us an A in the wrong place, and that's it.
Woo-hoo,
so we know there's an A somewhere
word.
Lions. Let's try lions. Lions gives us, that gives us a little more. Lions gives us an O and an N, both also in the wrong place.
Okay.
So we know the third letter is neither an A nor an O. And the fourth letter is not an N, but there
It
is an
could
A
be
and an O and an N in there somewhere.
it could be onion if you spell it wrong
Does onion have an A in it?
instead of the I. It would work perfectly, except that's not a
Onion.
word. And there's no O, correct?
No, there is an
Wait,
O.
no, there's an
Yeah,
O, but
yeah.
there's no I. There's no I.
There's no I.
Right.
Yes, there is no I.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the N is not the next to last letter. It could be the last letter.
No. It could be the last letter. Could also be
although
the third letter for that matter.
It could be what?
Could be the third letter for that matter.
Yeah, or the first. It could be
Yeah.
on somebody guess something, because I have a word and I don't want to.
What are you don't want to say it out loud?
It could be gonad.
Gonad.
Just saying, it could. It
We
totally
could try
could.
it. We could try it just to see if there's, to try for the placement.
If be Haga, there's no I. There's no I in it. That's why I said it would have to be an A instead of the I. Okay,
It could also be. It could be. It could be monad. Isn't monad the word that I'm thinking of?
I'm not super familiar with that word.
Is that like the word of the deistic god, the monad?
The deistic god. That's redundant.
Yeah. The supreme being, the monad, the absolute, like the
good on you,
the highest god.
Mr. I have a writing degree.
I don't know if that's it. Oh, nomad, Vilcata, that's a good one. It could be nomad.
Yeah, I like nomad better.
Nomad is banjo, more likely than monad. Yeah. Oh, banjo.
Banjo's a fun one.
We have some possibilities.
Yeah, we've definitely got possibilities. I say let's go with nomad first.
Let's try. I agree. I think that's probably the best of the possibilities.
Although banjo's a fun word.
Let's try nomad, see if that's it. Nomad. Oh, okay. It is not. This is interesting. It's not nomad, but the middle three letters are OMA, and the N is not the first letter, so the N must be the last letter. So it's something OMAN.
Woman?
And it can't be Roman. It can't be Roman because there's no R.
Woman?
Woman. Yeah. You want to try that?
Yeah, let's try that one. I have a good.
I'm not sure if it's not woman. I'm not sure what else it could be. It is woman. Fantastic. Whoa, man. Good job, everybody.
So yeah, we came up with some good possibilities there.
Yeah, and thanks, Vilcata, for nomad, because that's what got us there.
Yeah. Vilcata, yes, yeoman is a word, but there's an E after the Y. Y-E-O.
That's true. Yes, it's yeoman.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing you say with Hastings as a character is that he's written so dumb that he'd never gotten his position or have Poirot stick around with him. Well, he doesn't really have. I mean, I guess he's in the army. I think he was in the army.
Yeah, but, Captain Hastings. I mean, yeah.
I don't know if it was still the case at the time, but essentially that's who rubbing elbows. And that is really his use to Poirot, is that he's connected to people. And also he's, like, he's British. whereas Poirot is not. And so, and Poirot does deal with, regularly a lot of a prejudice because he's a foreigner. He's white, but he's from the continent.
He's the wrong kind of white.
Yep. He's not even American, which carries its own set of prejudice. It's just they had like all kinds of, they have all kinds of distinctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Christie really did a good job of looking into that, even at the same time, while her own class prejudices definitely show up.
Yeah.
I mean, plus also, he is our in, he latches onto the first interesting thing and he gets distracted by ladies in fast cars.
Yeah.
What's
and
not
you're right.
to like about Hastings? Come on.
He serves the same function in the stories as Watson does for Holmes and a little bit later as Robin does to Batman, even like he's the person that the smart character talks to so that the reader knows what's going on.
Yeah, to some degree. And also just and like Robin does to Batman, humanizes them,
Yeah.
We their interactions are just fun. They're just fun.
Yeah, and the same thing. I mean, obviously, same thing with Holmes and Watson. It gives the character. I mean, Poirot is more sort of eccentric, but he's not as cold of a character as Holmes is. Like if Holmes didn't have Watson, Holmes would be a very cold character because he's very logical. He doesn't really form attachments to people very easily. He has a very sort of analytical, detached view of humanity. There are a few Holmes stories where he exhibits something close to like moral outrage, but not usually. Usually it's just a puzzle for him to solve, even if it is like life and death. But we know that he cares about Watson. If he cares about no one else, he genuinely cares about Watson, and he and Watson are really, really close friends. And because he has that attachment, it's like, oh, so he's not a complete robot. He is a person. He does have feelings. He just doesn't show them very often,
Whereas without Hastings, Poirot would be more, he also would be more, pulled into himself, but not entirely because of himself. He would be more of an outsider. And I mean, he would visit people less because he would have less people to visit. So he would be more reclusive. But yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, shall we wrap it up?
Let's do. I'm starting to feel squeaks coming on.
You're starting to turn into a pumpkin. So next week, as far as you know, are we good for next week?
Yes. Okay. We're good for a while.
So
I don't have another ESOL till January.
Sweet. So next week we're back to Deep Space Nine, and that is the second to last episode of season 4.
Uh-oh.
We're almost done season 4. Can you believe it?
I know. Season 4, like the good one. It's all downhill from here.
Season 5 is really good too. And so is season 6.
Season 4.
And even season 7 is pretty good. Anyway, so next week is Body Parts. That is the title of the next. Yes, it's filthy.
Do we need to put like a an asterisk in the title? Just suitable for immature audiences only, because
suitable for immature audiences. Now, here's a little bit of exciting news for you. I have been waiting to be able to tell you this since we started watching Poirot. So next week is Deep Space Nine, and we're watching Body Parts. And then in 2 weeks, we come back for Poirot. And as I said, it is the 3rd series premiere of Poirot, and it is a double episode. So we will have to find a spot to split it in half so we can watch it across 2 shows instead of 1. But the episode is one that you are familiar with. I mean, you're familiar with a lot of them, but maybe not the particular episode, but the story I happen to know you are very familiar with, because the next Poirot episode we watch is a little thing called The Mysterious Affair at Styles.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good. Oh,
which I believe you know. Which I believe you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know this one. And I would think that longtime viewers of your channel probably know if they have a better memory than I do. Actually, no, that's a very low bar. If they have a really good memory, they might remember. Because I think I was in it, you know.
Well, I think you were in it before you started doing the show.
Yes. Okay.
But I believe you have mentioned it. The fact that you were in the show. That's what we're talking about. You were in a production of The Mysterious Affair at Styles.
Oh, and it's a two-parter, man. So it means I gotta wait like a freaking month to get to the
see the completed thing. Yeah.
Yes. I have to, well, I mean, I know the story and I know the reveal. I know and you know the reveal too.
Yes, because of your part in the show. Yes.
Yep.
All right, so that'll be fun. So body parts next week, and then the week after that, part 1 of The Mysterious Affair at Styles. All right. Well, really everybody. And I will see you on Friday. I will see you on Friday for Ask Away.
Yes, and don't forget, yeah. If you are a channel member or a patron, if you ain't already done so,
yeah. Well,
send in your question so that Steve has something that he can actually do on the show. Because otherwise, it's just him yammering on for like hours.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that, would we?
And so, yeah, patrons and members get their questions read on the air first, and then he turns his attention to the live chat. And also, don't forget to look in the description. We've got charitylinks.page, which has some of our friends and associates who could use some help. If you have the capacity to donate, especially, Christmas time being the season of giving, although, given, the current economy and society in general, ain't it always, people always, there are always some people who need help.
True.
So if you have the ability to do so, please consider donating to one of the links in charitylinks.page. And other than that, we'll see you next time.
See you next time, everybody. And I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.